So the moment you've all been waiting for is here. What do you think? So the new president has announced his cabinet, and it goes as follows. Cabinet ministers. Comrade Patrick Chinamasa is the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning. Comrade Obed Mpofu is the Minister of Home Affairs and Culture. Air Marshal Terence Shiri is the Minister of Lands, Agriculture and Rural Resettlement. Dr. Lazarus Dokora is the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education. Dr. David Parelenyatwa is the Minister of Health and Child Care. Comrade Kembo Mohadi is the Minister of Defense, Security and War Veterans. Comrade Ziambi is the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Major General Siwosiso Moyo is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm sure you remember he's the gentleman who was the first one to make the announcement on when the army took over the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, and he read the intentions of the military to Zimbabweans and the region and the entire world. Then we have Comrade Kazembe as Minister of Sports, Art and Recreation. So you can see we have two guys there. One is Ziambi, the other is Kazembe. Two guys with, unfortunately, ZBC has not produced a full list, but I've got the full list somewhere. It's doing the rounds now on WhatsApp. And I think this time is the real deal. So this, I think you've seen. Let's see. Let's go back to the first page. So we went up to Comrade Ziambi. No, we actually went up to number 9. So Major General Sibusiso Moyo is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Let's go to the next page, where we have Comrade Kazembe there as the Minister of Sports, Arts and Recreation. Dr. Mike Bima as Minister of Industry, Commerce and Enterprise Development. Comrade July Moyo as the Minister of Local Government, Public Works and National Housing. Comrade Stembi Sonyoni as the Minister of Women and Youth Affairs. Professor Amon Muruira as Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology Development. Comrade Superman Diwanzira as the Minister of Information, Communication Technology and Cybersecurity. Professor Clever Nyati as Minister of Labour and Social Welfare. Dr. Joram Gumbo as Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development. Comrade Winston Chitando as Minister of Mines and Mining Development. Comrade Opamchingurika Shire as Minister of Environment, Water and Climate. Comrade Priska Mufumira as the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry. Ambassador Simon Kayamoyo as the Minister of Energy and Power Development. And I think you've got a very important ministry there, Ambassador Moyo, because without energy, industry does not run, it grinds to a halt. So the energy portfolio is a very important portfolio. Then we have Garula's Smorgasbord Corpus Vivendi, Comrade Chris Mnangangwa has finally got Jonathan Moyo's post, or former post, as Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. Okay, I'm just checking for your comments, guys. Let's see. Andrew, recycling deadwood, disappointed. So Andrew, you are disappointed. And I think a lot of people have expressed disappointment Patricia Hapana Zachinja, fresh start has been crushed. Now back to square one again. So I think the overriding reaction to this is that people are a little bit disappointed. In fact, not a little bit, but very much disappointed, because it seems to have rewarded all the guys who were involved in, or perhaps it's a Lacoste. You'd expect him to do that. I suppose you'd expect him to do that. But we hope that he will fire as soon as these guys are underperforming. But we don't know. Anyway, I think it's a good thing for the opposition, because now they can show people that they are a better alternative to what has been offered here. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. I think this thing is about 4 pages. So here we go. Comrade Simbarashe Mbengegwi is the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs and the Monitoring of Government Programs. So that guy has a lot of work to do, because he has to monitor all these guys here. Then we have ministers of state for the provinces. I don't know if this is constitutional. I read someone somewhere saying that this had been abolished by the constitution. We don't know. I think people who are abreast with constitutional matters can help us on this. I'm sure we'll get a clear picture as soon as tomorrow. So, Ministers of State, Comrade Angeline Masuku is the Minister of State for Bulawayo Metropolitan. Comrade Miriam Rutendo Chikukwa is the Minister of State for Harare Metropolitan. Comrade Monica Mtswangwa, the wife to Chris Mtswangwa, is the Minister of State for Manicaland. Comrade Martin Tafaradina is the Minister of State for Mashonaland Central. Comrade Webster Shamo is the Minister of State for Mashonaland West. Comrade David Msabana is the Minister of State for Mashonaland East. Comrade Ndabazekaya Genyiliche Kane Matema is the Minister of State for Matabeleland North. Comrade Abednego Ncube is the Minister of State for Matabeleland South, and Comrade Josiah Duniraungwe is the Minister of State for Masringo. Comrade Owen Ncube is the Minister of State for Midlands. Comrade Christopher Mshowe is the Minister of State for Government Scholarships in the President's Office. Okay, that's page 3. And the last page, Deputy Ministers, only 6 Deputy Ministers. Comrade Terence Mukope is the Deputy Minister of Finance and Economic Development. Comrade Davis Marapira is the Deputy Minister of Lands, Agriculture and Rural Resettlement. Professor Paul Mabima is the Deputy Minister of Primary and Secondary Education. And Comrade Victor Matemadanda is the Deputy Minister for the War Veterans. And Comrade Pupurai Togarepi is the Deputy Minister for Youth Affairs, and Comrade Joshua Malinga is the Deputy Minister for Social Welfare. The appointments take immediate effect. Date, time, and venue for the swearing-in ceremony will be announced in due course. Signed by Arch Kore for Secretary for Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. Now let's go back to the start of this press. It's a press statement. It doesn't really have the time stamp. I mean the official stamp is not there, as a lot of people have realized with most of these press releases. But well, that is the new cabinet. So what do you think? A lot of people already expressing disappointment, and perhaps the opposition should celebrate because it means that now they can really start campaigning and show the public that they can offer an alternative to this. Okay? So back to Bitcoin and the blockchain. I'm just going to go to my page now. If you're watching this, if you want to watch, I'm going to share a few stories today in the blockchain and Bitcoin world. So I'm moving over to my Facebook page, and hopefully I will see you there. Okay.